it's Carol. Just wanted to do kind of a quick little rundown of what it's like for me being on the insulin pump, how I'm adjusting to it, some of the advantages, disadvantages that I've noticed being on the pump. I was going to do a T-Slim specific review, but quite honestly, a lot of the issues that I'm having, I'm sure that anybody on any pump could probably relate to. So I'm not going to necessarily make it T-Slim specific, especially since, I kind of just fell into getting a T-Slim. I was kind of limited to the two types of tubed pumps currently available, Medtronic and T-Slim, and I already had a Dexcom, so just kind of lucked into having to get the T-Slim. So anyway, let's begin with the speed of insulin delivery. Now, this was a bit of an adjustment at first because part of the reason that I went on the pump is I was experiencing a lot of low blood sugars, and specifically a lot of my low blood sugars, in addition to occurring at night, would occur after I would get done eating. Because I'm very sensitive to insulin. Insulin hits my bloodstream very quickly and very hard, and actually a lot more quickly than carbs will hit my bloodstream. So what was happening, part of the reason that I had to go on the pump was I would get done eating a meal and then my blood sugars would drop. And then I would have to eat more and then they would spike and then I would take insulin and then they would drop because, I'm just very sensitive to the stuff. So I was putting on a lot of weight and just having a lot of issues with lows, et cetera, et cetera. So the speed that insulin is delivered through the pump is a little slower. You can get it set up to deliver some of it right away and some of it over a long period of time. I have mine set up to kind of drip in, so to speak, so it takes a little while to hit. I know that I could divide up the doses, so some of it hits right away, some of it hits later, but I like to have most of mine hitting later because that will give the carbs time to hit my bloodstream, and then the insulin can hit, and I don't go low as often. I am still having some low episodes, not as many, so that's good. Occasionally, I will have a temp rate that's either too high or, I'll end up bolusing for too many carbs. And usually what will happen is I'll kind of think of, okay, well, this is what I want for dinner, and then I won't end up eating something, or I'll forget about eating something, so that's how that happens. But yeah, with the temp rate thing, when I work out, my blood sugars actually go up, and 2 hours later they tend to drop. So I will set a higher temp rate when I work out usually, but sometimes I'll accidentally set it too high, and then after I work out, even though I tend to drop my temp rate a little bit lower after the workout, my blood sugars just drop. So I have had a few hypoglycemic episodes, not as many again as before I was on the insulin pump. I'm sorry about the glare up there. That's the sunlight hitting. I can't really do much about that from this room. I don't have the light on. It's just the way the sun is. So anyway, what else? I had some infusion set issues. This is another thing that I think would be an issue regardless of what type of pump I was on, with the exception of maybe Omnipod. I'm on the AutoSoft 90, the straight-in infusion set. And my body fat is kind of spread out rather evenly throughout my body. So I don't have a lot of areas where I have excessive amounts of fat that I can put an infusion set into. Now, I could try angled sets, and in the future I may switch over to those, but right now the easiest ones for me to put in are the AutoSoft 90 ones. So anyway, I've had a hard time finding areas of my body that A, have enough fat on them that I can put the infusion set in, and B, don't have a lot of scar tissue, because I was on multiple daily injections for 30 years. So a lot of my favorite insulin sites are where pumps are recommended, specifically like around the abdomen. That's where I would put a lot of my injections. And then as far as my arms go, I usually put my Dexcoms on my arm. Sometimes I'll put my infusion set on the back of my arms, but Generally speaking, I have other things going on there, so yeah. I've been trying to find other places I can put my infusion sets. That's kind of taking some time. It was actually my second box of infusion sets. Like every other one went bad. So I had to call into Tandem and I was panic stricken, like, I don't know what to do. I keep having cannulas that kink and get scrunched up like a pretzel and I'm not getting an occlusion alarm. And the guy was like, well, sometimes you're not going to get the occlusion alarm unless it's bent ever so slightly for whatever reason. So he sent a new box of infusion sets and then a few more cartridges and such to use with the additional infusion sets. So that's good. I'm actually going to be short on cartridges now instead of short on infusion sets, but yeah, maybe I can reuse some of my cartridges. I don't know. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, that took some time getting used to the infusion sets and how to put those in and where to put those, but I'm kind of getting a little bit better at figuring that one out, so hopefully going forward that'll be okay. I really haven't had too many issues with the tubing. I thought that I was going to, but quite honestly, I usually have shirts that have pockets, or I have obviously pants pockets. So I'm wearing pockets usually somewhere on my body that I can put the infusion set. When I sleep, I don't have any issues because I have arm bands and leg bands, and I can loop the tubing. Like when I have the leg band, I have spandex shorts and I will drop the tubing through the spandex shorts, secure it in the leg band, and I don't tend to roll into my tubing at all, so that's good. So yeah, not having too many issues with tubing. I have had some issues where my pump has fallen out when I work out. I had originally thought that I would have to take my pump off to work out, but I usually continue to wear it just because I can usually generally find places to put it. I have the flip belt and, sometimes tuck it into my sports bra where I can keep it out of the way. The tubing doesn't get in the way, but sometimes it does fall out, which is a bit annoying because when you kickbox, you have boxing gloves on, so you have to take those out and stop the drill, get the pump back in wherever you have it, and go back to whatever it is you were doing when you started working out. But yeah, that hasn't been too much of an issue for me so far. So anyway, that's about it. Overall, I would say it's going pretty well. My A1C did go up to, was it 6.4, I think, which is right where my endocrinologist wanted it to be. I had been below 6, and he was kind of worried about that, so I'm now right at the point where he's happy. Anyway, that's about it, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.